Hello and welcome to another edition of Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television and Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makudi. And as I've mentioned, it is a combined broadcast. That means you could listen to us on Agate Radio and you could also watch us on Agate Television. My name is Fanan Kwan and welcoming you to this edition of the program. I have with me in the studio a public affairs analyst, Leonard Ike. Good morning, Leonard.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
All right. Also with us is our usual analyst, seasoned journalist, Dave Akase. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
A pleasure to be here again.
So many issues locally, so many issues nationally, and of course internationally. We're also looking at the exciting world of sport, just as we progress. But then we'll start with our newspaper, which is Agate News. And remember, Agate News is on www.agateradiotv.com. We're also live on our social media handles, Facebook. You could get us on Agate Radio TV 1. Also on YouTube, we are Agate Television. All right, so going ahead with the papers, we'll start with Agate News. And it comes with this banner headline. NBA seeks sanctions against any judge who takes over as Benue CJ as chief judge. And then just up above the nameplate, we have Abba Moro, that's removal of Benue State Chief Judge Abba Moro, 6 Senate's intervention. And then we have lawmaker says government comment on Kwande killings and insult on own constituency. We have other issues here with we have enough fuel to meet Nigerians' need. Man arrested for beating girlfriend to death in Lagos. So, those are some of the stories there. But we'll begin with the banner headline as usual. NBA seeks sanctions against any judge who takes over as Benue Chief Justice. And Abamoro seeks removal of Benue Chief Judge Abamoro 6 Senate intervention. So we're going to marry that together and then speak on it. Well, the drama has been there. The activities, the happenings have been there. Weeks ago, we had a saga, but it seems to be quiet now. Nobody has said anything again. But the development are there.
I think something has been said.
Okay.
A few days ago, we listened to His Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Elia, addressing journalists in Abuja, where he claimed not to have initiated the move to remove the Chief Judge. And I have seen commentaries, I have seen reviews of that is outing in Abuja, where some commentators have come very hard on the governor to say that he was being insincere with his comments. And many of them have said, well, the letter that went to the House of Assembly actually came from the office of the governor through his Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and Public Order. So, on the floor of the assembly, the day the chief judge did that motion, that resolution to remove the chief judge was performed by the assembly. The majority leader, Sate Tise, clearly said, and it is on video, that they had received a letter from the office of the governor of Benue State to remove the speaker. I think this is how clear he was, that the speaker had done, to remove the chief judge, rather. That the chief judge had, according to them, committed offenses, a number of offenses, and that they were mandated by law to look into those offenses and call for his removal. And they went ahead and did it. So for the governor to go to Abuja and address the press and say that he had no knowledge of that, I have seen so many commentaries in some shocked to have seen him say that. So that's why I just quickly had to check
about the commentary. He said it was brought to him and then he forwarded it to the NJC for appropriate action.
Well, that should have been the first course of action. That should have been the first step. That's what the law says. And I have read so many input made by seasoned lawyers, both men of the bar and the bench, and all point to the fact the Constitution is very clear on the procedure, and I'm happy the governor talked about procedural. He said it's procedure. So the first step in the procedural thing in the process would have been to write to initiate this thing and send those allegations to the NJC, that's the National Judicial Commission. It is the duty of the National Judicial Commission to recommend for the suspension of any judicial officer. But they didn't do that. Now, the Assembly already said they got the letter of the state. So, for the governor to come say he didn't know about it, perhaps, again, his Attorney General did something without his consent. And why will you keep such an Attorney General if he constantly does things without your consent and you are not relieving such a person of his job? Then there are so many questions. There are more questions to be asked than the answers I have so far got.
Okay, Chief Ike, so of all this saga, what do you make of it?
I think, to me, if the NJC didn't stand up, our leaders of the Benue State government would have made a mockery of democracy. They would even made mockery of what the governor terms procedural, because Ab initio, he knew that the executive were doing something that was wrong. If you have anything against a chief judge or a judicial officer, there's a procedure that you are supposed to follow. And the governor confirmed that he's aware of that procedure. And that same petition emanated from the executive, meaning that they were aware. But if we agree with the governor that he was not aware, this is the second time that the Attorney General is doing something that is not aware, that is causing a lot of embarrassment to the state, to the Benue people. The first was the state government joining a case against the anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria, which ended up in a mess. The governor came out claiming that he was not aware, suspended the Attorney General, brought him back, and today the Attorney General is alleged to have directly submitted the petition to the House of Assembly to remove a chief judge, the head of judiciary, without the knowledge of the governor. This time we are waiting to see what the governor will do, because it appears even this one is more grave to democracy than the other one, because that one, the first one, it was among some other Attorney Generals who petitioned to the Supreme Court. But this time, he did it solely alone, without even the governor's knowledge, having been warned that by the governor and suspended, that he has no powers to do any such thing. So it's fun. It has been fun the last 2 to 3 weeks or so. But I think the NJC sounded very clear. And professional bodies like that, if they fail to keep to their own to standards, our leaders will make mockery of democracy. They will use, especially the executive, they will use their powers, manipulate the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and make this place more of a banana republic. I think that the issue is almost dead. The governor said he has submitted a petition to the NJC. I don't want to preempt that, but I want to say that next time our government should focus more on respecting the procedure than announcing it after they've committed blunders.
Okay, so the position still remains here by the NBA, says they have placed sanctions against any judge who takes over as CJ. And as NJC overrules Benue Assembly, says Justice Ikpambase remains Chief Justice. Moving on to the next issue, lawmaker says government comment on Kwande killings is an insult on his own constituency. And then we also saw a video online yesterday of the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Katsina at a Thanksgiving Mass in, I think, in Vandikia local government area, you know, when he said a lot of things. According to him, he said he has read and he has governor 1 week ultimatum to respond to the issues or any other action. They won't be blamed. Ikem, you are from Kwande. So as you speak about this from your local government, I would also like you to marry that to that of Katsanala local government or the Sankara axis, as the bishop said.
Yeah, thank you very much. I happen to be directly and indirectly affected by the crisis that is going on, because that Kwande East is my constituency, and the people being killed are my blood relations directly. We've been in this studio here several times. Coincidentally, me and my elder brother Tevye Akase, we've been here. We've discussed so much on the insecurity in Benue State. It's very funny that at any opportunity the leadership of the state has to tell the world what we are going through, they would rather play politics with our lives. They will tell the people nothing like that is happening in Benue. Not even Kone in particular, they will tell you every news that the opposition is saying are all lies. They will tell people not to listen to us. I've watched the governor recently during the interview concerning the sack of the chief judge in Abuja before cameras. Said what we have here are minor skirmishes. People are being killed every day in numbers. Even yesterday, if you watched on the social media, if you see, I checked your Facebook page this morning, a lot of dead bodies have flooded the Benue algorithms. A lot of people have been killed. What is more worrisome is that government will not issue any press statement. Rather, if they are issuing any statement, it will be in defense of the marauding herdsmen. Our people have to live constantly in fear and with what is happening. If you follow the matter very well, you read comments, or you might have heard comments from both the Homeland Security, the person in charge of Homeland Security, Banwan, somebody Banwan, who is in charge of Homeland Security, a security advisor to the governor, who went live on a live program and said that all the reported killings in Benue State are fake. The following day, the technical advisor to the governor, Shlomo Yope, said that everywhere in Benue State is safe. The only thing is that they said this in the city, they said this in Makudi. Even Makudi is not that safe. Just last week, the university announced that 4 students were kidnapped on the campus. And up to now, the state government has not issued any statements.
I think it was 3. Because we later heard that one was released, one ran away.
Okay, all right.
So I think the number
is
3.
3.
And then the police are saying it's 2.
To be worried about the students were kidnapped on the campus. And then up to now, we thought that in solidarity with what we are already bargaining for, the safety they are saying we have, the government should have issued a statement on how to release these people, or how to sympathize with the families of these students, even if they don't want to do with those directly affected by Fulani marauding herdsmen. You know, so we don't know what the today's government want to achieve by trying to downplay the kind of massacre, the kind of killings that are going on in the state. If you go to Kwande, and particularly if you go to Turan, you will discover that out of Turan has about 5 council wards. If you go, the only place to live now in Turan is Jatwaka. In that Jatwaka, you have no light, you have no water, and all the 5 council wards people have fled from to come and take refuge in Jatwaka. There is food crisis in Jatwaka. There is every problem that you talk about in Jatwaka. Yet, our government keep denying. 2 weeks back, the SEMA boss, Yopu, went to Jatwaka. I was very interested to follow up to know exactly what they will do after the visit. Up till now, we've not heard anything. Yes, last night, people were still killed in Jatwaka as we speak. So, it is, we find it very difficult to speak on this. When you talk, others or the government supporters or the supporters of the government will call you opposition, that you are just opposing the government. So, for some of us who are directly affected by these killings, we just have to leave our hope in the hands of God. Because the governor who is supposed to amplify this voice is saying that nothing has happened to us. Oh, there's relative peace everywhere. But I bet he cannot stay in Mo or in any of the deserted wards for 30 minutes without security and come back alive.
Okay, over to you, Chief Akase.
Well, you see, there is every benefit in the governor. I am saying the governor because he is the chief security officer of the state. There is every benefit when a governor speaks about the security situation in his state. And there is no gain if the state government tries to suppress the information. Number one, the information will help the people who are in the front line of the crisis to know what to do in order to help government and security agencies. Now I give you an example. In 2018, in the early part of 2018, Benue came under heavy attacks, and Chief Samuel Otom was the governor of the state at that time, and I had the privilege of working with him. And if people don't know why the federal government brought Operation Wellstroke, which began as Operation Ayema Patuma here, it was because Governor Otom spoke out. He made a very strong presentation anywhere he went, and he met with the federal government, the Minister of Defense, the National Security Advisor, and every other stakeholder in the security business of Nigeria, and told them that what Benue was going through and some parts of the North Central required a full military operation. So when the defense headquarters set up the Operation Cat Race, we will not be able to suppress, to curtail the security challenges that Benue and Nasarawa, Taraba, and some parts of Kogi were going through. So he made another presentation, met with the federal government, and told the federal government that what we need in Benue is a full military operation. That an exercise, which was more or less a full military operation, to come to Benue State. And for the rest of the tenure of Governor Otom, you saw what Operation Wellstroke were able to do here. And it was because of his support, the support of his government, giving the military all the necessary backing they needed, logistics, vehicles, and everything they needed. The state government spent a lot of money on security to get the people to go back to their farms. And you saw that at that time, almost all herdsmen had withdrawn from Benue. They left. They went to Nasarawa, they went to other neighboring states. And you saw how they constantly complained that they were not allowed in Benue. It was because they refused to obey the law, the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law, caused in the press and so on. But now, if you are not talking about it, how will the federal government, you talk about it. If you are saying it, you are saying what is happening in your state is not big enough to warrant
Military
the intervention of the federal. We shouldn't be joking about it, but it's because it has been trivialized. It has been trivialized by the government, and it's quite unfortunate. I expect His Excellency the Governor to be furious. Human lives are going. People are dying. So you as a chief security officer, look, there is something called in thief nyagba. Nyagba is that cloth when a man is embattled, when you feel that, look, your people are being killed unjustly. Man will see it in your face and they will respond. Governor Otom was in a different political party, yet the federal government listened to him because he was making a very, very strong point. And nobody could argue, even as he was in PDP. The federal government saw that, look, as far as security is concerned, it is not a political matter. This governor has made a very strong case and you couldn't argue against him. So they had to deploy full military operation. And that was why Operation Wellstroke were able to flush out all those bandits. Yes, they were coming once in a while to cause problems, but they were no longer here. That's what it is. But you see these herdsmen moving with cattle everywhere now in Benue. So I expect our governor, our dear governor, we love him and we believe he can do it if he wants to. Step forward and be angry over what is going on. And I believe, luckily for him, and if he wants to do it, he can do it. This is possible.
Okay, I was just looking at it critically from different angles to try to raise questions that could try to, but then the facts are there, actually. So we'll be moving on to another issue. We hope that this issue is given, the lasting solution it deserves. Especially as the bishop also raised concerns yesterday. This is to tell you that
yes, I
it is not only about a politician.
Exactly. I listened to His Excellency, His Lordship, the Bishop Dugu, and I could feel the pain in the heart of a humanist, a man who, even though he's not a government official, he is a religious leader. And I loved the way he presented it. He didn't go too hard on the authorities. He only made a passionate appeal that something needs to be done and done urgently. And if you do not do it now, you may no longer have people in that axis of the state because the armed herders are ready to exterminate everybody. And if you do not come now, don't come when we are all gone. This was the appeal that the bishop was making. And I expect that our leaders, the state government, in collaboration with the federal government, I believe President Tinubu is a listener. I have challenges. It is no longer a matter of skirmishes. I have real problems. I believe Mr. President will listen to him. So what Bishop Dugu said was very, very, and until we do something, if we cannot continue to pretend by denying that what is going on is...
Chief Ike, before we proceed, looking at the role of Bishop Dugu in the whole crisis, especially in the Sankara axis, is now one person that bandit respect a lot. You see him having meetings with them every now and then, trying to call them to order. So what do you think, similar persons, maybe religious leaders, what do you think could be their role in trying to tame the situation, at least at their own end, while we wait for the government intervention?
I think Bishop Dugu has been doing his best. And the peace that the government is talking about now, the relative peace they talk about now, the credit should be given to him. He has done so much. It would be very nice if other religious leaders too would join him to make sure they bring lasting peace to Sankara and other parts of the state. But I must state that for Bishop Dugu to have cried out yesterday, it means the issue has been overstretched. And but what we need now is full government intervention into this problem. Speeches that he can give it to anybody who wants to listen to. That these people are coming to kill. And something should be done very fast. And if it is not done within some days, there will be no more people in those. Speak through Bishop Dugu, the issue has reached a stage that if government keep playing down the matter, it will be overwhelmed.
Oh, okay. All right, we do hope so. And one thing I said was that, okay, we need to, act fast so that we are not pushed out of Benue State. We remain here. Well, it is on this note that we take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at other papers.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Televisions.
Big shout out to Agate Television, Sky's your limit.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Television, one of the best in the whole city of Makurdi. Peace.
Hello, my people. Keep watching Agate Television. Watch out for more.
Agate Television, we love you.
Special shout out to Agate Television.
Agate Television, you're the best. Shout out, peace.
Shout out to Agate Television. I love you. You're the best.
Best channel, all the fun, the live shows, the best of the best you can get.
Agate TV, one of the best rising televisions in North Central Nigeria, which everybody should actually look out for.
Welcome back. You're still listening and watching Agate Television and Radio. The program is Newspaper Headlines Review. We started off with Agate News. Yeah, by the way, you could get the newspaper on www.agateradiotv.com. At this note, we proceed to the next paper, which is the Punch newspaper. It comes with the banner headline, How Akonde-led panel forced Miranda out, reinstated Obasa. Uncertainty surrounds Assembly leadership as APC Government Action Committee members allay fears. And then also in the Punch, we have Rivers Budget Fubara Assembly set for fresh showdown. Governor alert supporters. Ramadan, Kebbi, Bauchi, Kano rebuff. CAN says schools remain closed. Federal government, NLPCL, work out 7.7 trillion naira fuel subsidy debt payment. Federal Executive Council approves 734 billion naira for Oyo Ogbomosho Road and others. We also have NMPCL stations have reduced petrol price to 860 naira per litre. That's coming from marketers. Residents lament as disco plunges Lagos Air Force Base into 12-day blackout. And then lastly, we have federal government avoiding confrontation with governors over mining sites. And this is coming from the minister. All right, so the biggest story, how Akonde-led panel forced Miranda out and reinstated Obasa. Of course, yesterday's sitting at the Lagos State House of Assembly took a dramatic turn as it went on smoothly, peacefully. Nobody came with police yesterday. Yeah, it was rather a peaceful atmosphere whereby the Speaker of the State Assembly, talking about Honorable Miranda, stepped down for her senior colleague, Honorable Obasa, to take over his seat. You know, he was vacated that seat when he traveled to the USA, and he came back to meet her there. But yesterday, she took a bow that Honorable Obasa should settle.
Well, that is the Lagos drama is really interesting, and well, it's good to see that eventually the matter has been resolved. I think they adopted a political solution. Some have said Mr. President intervened to see the end of that tussle.
In her stepping down speech, he had actually said, I am doing this not because I am weak, not because I'm afraid, but for the interest of our party. So that's quite clear. You know, the former governor of Oshun and that of Ondo, I think they were there. The president set them up to try and ensure that peace reigns there.
Solve the problem. Yes, I read Obasa some days ago saying that you know, our politicians, some of them like to drop names. Now he's coming back. Many people will attribute it to Mr. President. Whatever the case is, it is good to see that eventually there is peace in the Lagos State House of Assembly. And Obasa is back. He has been there since 2007. And people ascribe to him the status of one of the most powerful guys politically in Lagos State. So while he's back, let's hope that those lawmakers who didn't support him will be able to embrace him and work towards a harmonized house for Lagos State, for the good of the people. Our people are also in large numbers in Lagos, and if Lagos is at peace and the laws are made for the good governance of that state, it will rub off on all Nigerians who reside and do business in Lagos State.
Okay, Ike, putting this side by side with what is happening in Rivers, you know, the Supreme Court judgment came a few days ago, and there is another face-off here that says Rivers budget. In fact, the governor was given 48 hours, you know, to come up with a budget, and others are also alleging fears of alleged impeachment. You know, it is not yet there, but people are afraid that it may lead to that extent. But putting it side by side, how do you see the resolution in Lagos and that of Rivers?
Yeah, Rivers needs the kind of solution that Lagos has gotten, because what the lawmakers are saying is also right, and what the governor is doing is different from what lovers of Rivers will say is different from what the stakeholders want. Until the matter between Obasa and Miranda, they will still have problems. If you look at the 48 hours ultimatum, the budget, according to the governor, was already presented to the three-man assembly. They deliberated on it. It was bring back that budget. Let's look at it. The governor is still arguing that the judgment of the Supreme Court did not validate the 27 people from and in favor of the 27 members, because they still have, I think the government still has a case with them at the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt.
I think about the defection.
About defection. So according to the governor, so far as he is concerned, there are not still lawmakers in the state, except the case at the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt is completed. So if you look at the scenario, what is playing out, there's no difference between what played out in Lagos, because it's a fight between stakeholders and their own political children. So I feel that if they adapt the strategy in Lagos, Rivers too will enjoy that same peace that Lagos started enjoying yesterday. Yesterday there was no fight. Everybody went into the assembly chambers with laughter. They discussed everything. Some people stepped down, others nominated, and everybody chorused. They have accepted Obasa back. So if the governor of Rivers State will also meet critical stakeholders in Rivers to bring both the 27 members, the Wike faction, and others together, they'll be able to resolve this matter. And if they don't, I don't think the matter will not end in impeachment sagas.
It's okay.
Rather unfortunate, but I fault the governor of Rivers State. He didn't handle this matter very well at the beginning. He wasn't diplomatic. See, whether you like it or not, someone brought you and gave you his party structures. upon which you became the governor. If that man was evil, then why didn't you run away from the evil? Ab initio, why didn't you run away from the evil? The same evil brought you and made you governor on his party structures, and barely 1 month into office, you wanted to take away his party structures. See, we have to be sincere. This is the whole issue. The whole issue is about structures, and it's happening in other states, including Benue State. It's about party structures. Someone brought you, someone has nursed his party for years, defending that political party, winning elections, and he brings you to makes you the candidate of the party, and suddenly you become the overlord. You become you become the man who wants to decide everything that happens. I mean, we are human beings. Everybody will feel bad. So those who are castigating Minister Wike, His Excellency, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, that he is not being fair to the governor, should also remember that this same governor, when Wike wanted to make him the candidate of the PDP, his own people, the Ijaw people, refused. I am aware of these things. The Ijaw people didn't prefer Fubara. But today you hear a lot of people attacking Wike in the media and saying all manner of things. They fail to remember the sacrifices that Wike made for this guy to emerge as a candidate. And the moment he became the governor, the first thing he went for was Wike's party structures. And I don't think I will accept that as well.
No, the most
if I'm the kingmaker, and then I make you governor, and the first thing you do is to want to render me useless.
You know, there are...
I mean, who will take that? So the whole thing that is happening here is... Now, the reason the 27 members of the assembly have stood with Wike should tell you something. They are representing Rivers people. They are from different constituencies. But they have said, oh, this man has suffered over the years to keep this party going, to oil the wheel of this party. So you just came in here and in less than 1 month, you want to send him back to the farm. You want to take over everything and become the determinant of all of everything. This is not done. It's not done. So yesterday, Governor Fubara made another statement, which I also fought. He said he was accepting what has happened. He accepted the decision of the Supreme Court, and that he will play by that decision. But when the time comes, when the time comes, he will. I hope that the governor is not implying that when the time comes, he will mobilize people to be unruly. That would be quite unfortunate, and it would be against the Constitution that he swore to protect. Governors who are instigating thugs, who are mobilizing thugs to go against political opponents should better understand that you cannot be the governor forever. There is coming a time you will leave that office, and when you leave that office, the law will catch you. You may have immunity now, but time is coming. So you don't make such a statement. We hear some governors saying a lot of things that if you point a finger at me, then you
chop off.
You will cut off that finger. These are ungubernatorial statements. Completely ungubernatorial. You don't make such a statement. You should be honorable. You are called His Excellency. Excellence is the highest form of doing good. All right? So,
all right,
as a governor, you speak with decorum. You speak with honor.
Accepted. That's true. So, the issue now is you made mention of leaving office one day. And by the principles of democracy, don't you think that when people leave offices, they should, in real terms, leave the offices? Because you left as the governor and was made a minister. So why are you so much interested in the affairs of the state?
No, leaving the party. The fact that he brought you and made you governor doesn't mean that he has retired. Wike is still a young man. He should be around 60 or 61 now or thereabout, if he's 60 already. At the last time I knew he was 59, 57, 58, 59. So he is too young to begin to think. Someone even who is 70 should still be active. So do you want Wike to retire and go to Omok? I mean to Obiakpo and be doing what? he has built this party. He should still be providing that fatherly guidance that is required.
I honestly hope that our democracy will grow past this level of I live, I must plant to continue to
yes,
dominance.
Sorry, and you know what the governor of Rivers State has missed. He has Wike now as a minister of the FCT, one of the most powerful offices at the federal cabinet. Now, imagine how good it would have been if Wike were in good terms. I mean, if the governor were in good terms with former Governor Wike. A lot of good things will be coming to Rivers State because you have your elder brother who is now the minister of the FCT and your leader. And anytime you want something from Mr. President, ex-Governor Wike will be there to lobby that thing for you. You can imagine how pleasant, how good, how advantageous that would have been to Rivers people. But all of that point has been missed. And I just hope that Governor Fubara will learn from this and correct himself going forward.
My brother Tiwaka, I think the major problem of this is ingratitude. People just want to be greedy. You are somewhere, you were a civil servant, and then you rose on a particular structure to climb. The next thing you want to do is to destroy that structure. How do you look at it? People that are coming in as politicians today are the ones that are heating up the politics. You once rose on a structure, and instead of consolidating on that structure, you want to dismantle that structure, destroy the people that made you who you are. Even in the US, when the last elections were conducted, you see, I think you saw Obama moving to all the nooks and crannies for Kamala Harris. You must consolidate on the structures that you have. So the problem we have here in this part of the world is that we feel once you are a governor, you have all the powers to yourself and you can do anything without anybody questioning. We are all humans. I'm a politician. I have built my structure with people. Some people have even taken politics as a career. They've been there. If you want to age them out, you do it in such a way that not everybody will come on a table with your terms. It's not for you to wake up one day, dismantle what people have built for over time, and then say you want to take over and they should go to their farms, sit down and see how you are dancing because they are no longer governors. That is not good. So please, like Tevia Kasi said, I still insist, if the Lagos approach will be used in Rivers, that is where you have the desired peace.
Okay, we hope that Mr. President will also intervene in the situation in Rivers State, and the Minister of Federal Capital Territory will also intervene in connection with Mr. President and bring a lasting solution to that. With that, we head to the next paper, which is The Guardian, and then we'll look at just the story, then take sports, and then we'll move. All right, the story is uproar as Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi shot out 11.5 million school children, for Ramadan. That's the break, and this has been across the papers.
Yes, well, this is a very sensitive issue, if you will, because anything that has to do with religion, politics, and ethnicity, these three things are very sensitive. They are delicate. Once a people's religion is the topic, or politics, or tribe, you find people getting so emotional. I have seen reviews of that decision to close schools for the month of Ramadan. I don't know what informed that decision. Many people have questioned. I have seen a Christian Association of Nigeria. I've seen other groups coming to question why those states would decide to shut schools
first of its kind
for that length of time. Now, these things are affecting productivity in this country. Now, imagine students, imagine school pupils, both private and public, going to sit at home for that length of time. It's going to really affect education in those states. But I have no details as to, but you know, Nigeria is very religious. We are a very, very religious country. And when it comes to issues of religion, you just have to pick your words carefully. Before you inflame emotions and people begin to call for your head and so on. So I'm being careful. I don't want to either condemn that, but I'm just feeling for the parents and the guardians. I'm feeling for the children, the school children. They will have to sit at home for that length of time. I will appeal to the governments of the affected states to review that decision and maybe shorten it. You can make it maybe 1 or 2 weeks or 1 week. It's really good to worship God. It's really good to do this, but 4 weeks, 5 weeks, that's a whole lot of time. So it's just an appeal that if possible, it can be reviewed to maybe 1 week.
Yeah, like Tewakasa has said, when it comes to religion, everybody's supposed to be very careful. Nigeria is too religious. The only religion that does not enjoy so much protection in Nigeria is this traditional religion where I come from. You know, we don't have public holidays. There was a time we even sought to have a witchcraft meeting. The government refused giving us approvals. Yeah, you know, so it's funny, but is the only peaceful religion that I know is my own, the traditional religion. We don't have any issues. We don't stop schools. We don't do anything. We don't hold Easters, you know. But then the truth is that I read that story this morning, and I learned the holiday has been reduced to 2 weeks, and the CAN wanted it to be reversed completely, but in the report I read, we were made to understand that the meeting was held at the federal level. Both Muslim and Christian leadership were involved, and they don't know why it has become an issue now. But like Terry Akase said, picking side with any of them will bring bruises to some people's beliefs. So I think the federal government should also intervene in most of these things, because education is in the hands of the federal government too. So they should make more stringent laws concerning the future of these children, because taking children to school, bringing them out, suspending their education for religious reasons, to me, I feel that such decisions should be guided by laid down rules. So involving the federal government to intervene in this matter will be better for next time.
Okay. All right, we're out of time already, so I'll just snap through the sports stories and then we'll wrap up the program. Theatre of Dreams as Basi, Igalo, other Nigerians who made their marks at Old Trafford. We have a Fury Deals, Joshua fight blow, Tottenham enter Lickman transfer race, the Teller eyes Bayern sleep. Those are some of the stories on our sports paper this morning. Well, but unfortunately, we won't be able to analyze them because of our time. This is where we wrap up today's edition of Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television and, of course, on Agate Radio. I'd like to appreciate you so much, David Akase, for finding time to come on the program.
It's my pleasure once again.
Also, thank you very much, Leonard Ike, for your analysis.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
My name is Fanen Kwano. Join us next week, Tuesday, for another edition of the program. Good morning.